NAC Warrior. How are you doing today? Today, I'm going to be talking about the most powerful tool for your health and fitness that you could have. So this is like if I could wrap something up and put it under your Christmas tree or whatever, if I could give you a gift during these holiday seasons, what would I give you? And this is the tool I would give you. So, what I want you to do though, as I talk about the tool, I would love it if you could participate in some of the things I'm going to ask you to do. And I think if you do this, or I shouldn't even say if you do this, I know you're going to get the benefits of this, and it's going to be super cool, and it's going to wake you up if you haven't been awoken yet through some of my other material. I don't have any sponsors today, but if you are interested, please sign up if you're looking for a group, if you're interested in finding a group that's going to help you on your health and fitness, please check out our Facebook group, NAC Warriors. I believe there's a link down below or some way you can click on to join our community. Would really appreciate to see you there, and really I'm super excited to help people on their journey. With that, if you're on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. That way I can keep on, well, I'm going to do this regardless, but I love it to support more and more of you. Share the channel. Do whatever it takes to help me serve more people, create more NAC warriors out there. If you're listening on the podcast, please make sure to give me a good rating and share it with other people. And I always have a question there. Please answer that question, because actually, no matter what platform you're listening to this to, I would appreciate it if you give me something that you would like a future episode on. So if you would like to hear me talk about something specific about health and fitness, please let me know. With that, let's just jump right into the topic today of the best tool I could give you in health and fitness.
Welcome to the NAC Warrior Show.
The best tool that I can give you in health and fitness is actually the one between your ears. And what do I mean by that? Well, yes, it's your brain. But I don't think people really understand how powerful it is. Like, we understand it from a, let's say, knowledge logical perspective, but we don't really understand, or maybe we don't know how to apply it. And so I wanted to share with you the journey that I kind of went on in order to really understand how this works, sort of like this wake up moment. And it's like not even information that's new. It was always there, but until I woke up, it never really made sense to me. So for instance, one of the things that woke me up was the topic that I talked about yesterday, which was the seasons of the year, right? And how important the seasons of our life, the year in our day, can actually make a difference in our health and fitness. And one of the things was, you look at a program and it's an hour long and you're saying to yourself, wait a second, I don't have an hour in my day. Who says you have to do the full hour, right? I forget the name. I think it was Beast Mode or something on one of the Beachbody workouts. And I looked at it and I said, oh, it'd be really cool if I could do that workout, but it's an hour long. Oh, it'd be cool if I could do P90X again, but it requires an hour each day. I don't have an hour in my day. But those are limiting beliefs. Like, you're looking at things at a certain perspective, and if you step back, who says you have to do it for an hour, right? The thing is that you could do it in 5 minutes, you could do it in 10 minutes, you could do the full hour, you could do 30 minutes of it. There's no rules out there saying, hey, Angelo, or who, if you're looking at a program, at that time it was me talking to myself, hey, Angelo, you don't have to do an hour. There's no rules to say you have to do an hour. It's just saying that the program is meant for an hour long. And what happens if you want to go beyond, right? And so that was one of the limiting beliefs I had that changed once I was able to question myself. And so one of the things I think that's really hard for people is to get out of our way, right? That was one of the biggest things I had, was to get out of my own way. And how do we wake up to that and to know that we're even placing it on that? Because if I'm honest with myself, back then, when I actually look at my history of questioning things, like it made logical sense. I never questioned the question that I had, if that makes any sense. Like I just said, it's an hour long. I can't do that. I never questioned the validity of that. And so when we go through our health and fitness, or when I did, the one big thing was, how do I wake up to the things that I'm asleep to? Because once you can do that, then the rest of it becomes easy, because then you can start actually diving in and saying, oh, is that actually true? But you have to wake up. So, how do you wake up? Well, the first part of it that I found was awareness. And this was probably the most frustrating part of, really using my brain, this tool that I've been given. Because what happens is you go in with intentions, right? Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm really going to start thinking about the things that I need to think about. And you start tackling it, and then you're all motivated at the very beginning, and then all of a sudden, boom, it disappears, right? Then all of a sudden you realize that you're not thinking the way that you want to be thinking. Hopefully, I'm not making this too confusing, but you know what I'm saying? Like you want to think in a different way, but then you forget to think in that different way. So how do we wake ourselves up to that? And that's really the frustrating part, because you kind of have to kind of give into it, right? You have to just know that because it's not a habit, you're probably most likely going to fall away from it until you remember it again, and then you jump back on the bandwagon. And if you get frustrated with that process, you may likely give up on it and just be like, what's the point? I never remember. And so you move on. So, this is where I talk about the four pillars. Before the whole NAC Warrior Roadmaps is having the four pillars, and one of those is a support team and having accountability partners, because they can start helping you through those types of things and really be there to support you when things sort of like not go the way that you plan them. So, being aware, but what can actually help us, right? Because what if we don't have a support system? Maybe what we're trying to do is a little bit unorthodox compared to what other people are doing, which is what I did when I took my private mission and just said, I'm going to go do this. I didn't have a support system. So, what was it that really kept me like sort of like waking up? The numbers part. So, once you're aware of it, the second part was actually for me was just making sure I was enjoying it, right? If we think about it, if we want to learn something and we want to do something, if it's really important to us, we will remember. We will do it because we want to do it. And we need to do it. If you're starting a business, you don't forget to pay the bills, right? You know you have to pay the bills because people are relying on you. If you have payroll or something like that, there are things that you there are things that you forget, and there are things that you don't forget. And the things that you don't forget are important to you. So if it's not important to you, then it's probably not going to be that you're probably going to fall off the bandwagon, right? So you're like, I'm going to be aware, but if it's really not something you're interested in, it doesn't matter. You're going to fall off the bandwagon. So, how do we fix that? And that's where I started thinking in the past, like, there was things that I didn't want to do before I understood identity, becoming a runner, and or not doing all these things that I should be doing from a functional perspective. One of the things that really gets me is being bored, and my why, and understanding that. But one of the things I try to remember was, well, what about the things that I'm not interested in, right? Is there anything that I do that I'm not really particularly happy to do, but I do it anyways because it's become a habit? And the thing I thought about was brushing my teeth, right? That's a typical example I give. Like, I don't enjoy brushing my teeth. I don't look forward to brushing my teeth. It's almost like, oh, I got if I'm ready for bed, I'm like, oh man, that's right. I have to brush my teeth. When I wake up, I'm like, oh, I have to brush my teeth. But even though I'm not enjoying it, I'm aware of it, and I do it because it's a habit. So this is where a support system could come in, and more of like just trying to challenge you on the things that you're thinking about. And again, if we can be aware of the way we're thinking, and just to tie it back to the tool of your mind, then somehow either creating a habit out of it, but would be even better than trying to create a habit out of it with some support of some way, is to make it enjoyable, something you're looking forward to. And research, understanding, like going to do stuff. And this is how you know you're interested in it, right? You want to learn more about it. And that doesn't necessarily mean getting a book and reading a book, or, it could be any media that's available out there. It could be talking to somebody about the topic. Like once you know you're talking about it and you're asking questions to yourself about it, then you're aware, you enjoy it. But if it's something that you just need to do, like brushing your teeth, then having a support system of some sorts would help tremendously. And again, that's why we have our Facebook group, is to help you do that, to get that help that you need. Get an accountability partner and really have them support you, and like start questioning some of the things that you may be thinking about. Now, what happens when you are sort of aware and then you start thinking of the things that can affect your health and fitness? Once you're aware and now it's something that you're doing, but now what do you do with the information, right? So there are two things that I found that really resonate with me, or really trigger a change. And the two things are whether or not something resonates with me or resists, meaning I resist against it. And if I have any of those two triggers, I've been doing this for so long, it's automatic. Like my brain just turns on. And this is what we really want to get to, because it's in those moments that we will make the biggest difference, right? Is if we can notice the emotion that tugs us when something comes across our plate, or we read something, or something happens and challenges what we believe, or whatever. If you're not happy with where you are, you have to change. So anything, and I mean absolutely anything, especially that you resist against, you I have found that once I let that guard down and let that in and really try to examine what about it really makes me resistant against it, usually I find a nugget in there that really determines, that was like this small little thing that was dictating that whole sort of belief. And if I could knock out that thing, move it to the side, and take care, maybe understand everything else. And the best example again is my fasting, right? I was totally against fasting, did not want to fast, but the fact that I resisted against it made me think, okay, let me take a look at it. And I found out that it was just the part that was bothering me was the amount of calories I wanted to consume. I wanted to make sure that if I was fasting, I wasn't missing out on calories, because I had a belief system that if I got too low on calories, it would mess up my metabolism. Yet what I found was I don't need to, I can still eat the same amount of calories, just delay when I eat them. So I think they call it intermittent fasting is what they're calling what I do. I don't really care what the label is, but I just realized that this was something I could do. And it wasn't that I was against fasting, I was against the idea of the calories. And so that awareness is what we really need to get to. Let's say that you find that exercise is boring, right? Maybe that's one of the things. Well, what do you consider exercise, right? This is something you may be thinking of. Or one of the things that I hear is that I don't want to go on a diet because then I can't eat anything. I have to stop. I have to throw everything out the window. Why do you have to throw everything out the window? Why can't you still eat and be on a quote unquote diet? Why can't you slowly remove things from your bad habit of eating, right? Why do you have to change your whole world? And so, like all these things that you're thinking about, and this is what I'd love you to do if you could, is at the end of this, is start thinking about all the things that you say you can't or don't want to do, and write them down. And then question yourself, like really question, why can't you do it? right? Let's take, for instance, like why don't you want, or why don't you want to do something, right? Why don't you want to exercise? It's going to take too much time. Why do you think it has to take too much time? Because in order to get the benefits of working out, they say you have to exercise for 30 minutes or more. Well, do you have to exercise for 30 minutes or more? Do you personally have to exercise for 30 minutes or more? That's the general guideline. For you, it could be 10 minutes and you're still going to get the benefits. Maybe not the best. I mean, obviously, if we work out longer, the more benefits we're going to get if we balance it with rest and all the other habits, right? But do you have to work out 30 minutes every day? And maybe you only get 5 minutes, and then the days you can do 30 minutes, you do 30 minutes. Like, these are the things that you want to start challenging yourself on. And if you're not really sure, again, if you're not really sure on like how to question yourself, really push your envelope like on what you believe, then come into our Facebook group. It's a safe place to ask questions, and you're going to get like love feedback is what I call it, love feedback, because a lot of people want to kind of like in your life, if you're not making progress, you think about the people you talk to, they kind of like cahoot with you, right? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is why you should not do this, or you look great, or and you do look great, but maybe you do need to lose weight, right? But they're afraid to say it because they want to cherish the relationship more than helping you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you come into the Facebook group, you're going to get love feedback, which means like, hey, yeah, how much do you weigh? And you got to be open and say, well, I weigh this much. Well, generally speaking, you should be at this weight, at your height, your age, your gender, and all that fun stuff. And then we can say, oh, okay, you may be overweight. We could work on that, right? Um, but it's doable. That's the thing. Everything we do is doable. So it's almost like you go into it knowing that something's off, and knowing that it can be fixed. Because I can guarantee you, if somebody else is doing it, which somebody is in health and fitness, nothing is really new with health and fitness. They try to put bows and paint it all and make it look pretty and call it a different name and everything, but it's all the same. But if you can figure out what it is that they're doing, you can do it too. And somebody's been in your shoes before, and they've gotten the results that you want today, right? That's the cool thing. Somebody's done it, and we can figure it out. We can break it down using the NAC Warrior roadmaps and all this cool, fun stuff. So that's what I'm going to say today. Really start challenging what you're thinking out there. I would say lean more. Like, if you resonate again with something, that's great. But I really want you to start, and I'm hoping this message will reach you. I really want to sort of kick up the conversation, the antenna of you thinking to yourself, why do I not like this? Why do I resist against this? Why do I not want to do this? Why is this not fun for me? And try to start asking really deep questions to dive down into the specific reason. Usually the topical reason is not the real reason. Like, that's just the surface. It's almost like the symptom. The real problem is down deeper, and you got to ask those questions. And if you're not sure, again, jump into our Facebook group. So hopefully that helps you. So become aware, right? So just to recap, become aware of what you're doing, that you want to use your brain, and really throw out that antenna for the things that you resist against. Find a way to make it fun, or start creating a habit. And if it's not something you can make fun quite yet, find an accountability partner, whether it's our Facebook group, another group, somebody in real life, somebody you can trust, somebody that you feel that you can talk to. Go grab somebody that will help you, remind you every single day. That's the thing. In order to create a habit, you have to do it every single day. Do that, and then really start questioning the questions you're asking, right? Or questioning the statements you're giving yourself. And that's going to change your life. I'm telling you, you are where you are because of decisions and the things you think of today. That's why you are where you are today. The only way to move away from that, to get a different result, is to start changing the way you think about things. And the reason you are not making progress is in the things that you resist against. Once you break those down, then you will find your answer and you will start coasting and making huge progress on your health and fitness. Okay? So, if you like this episode, please share it with somebody if you believe it will help them. If you liked it yourself, please let me know what you liked. If you felt like there was something that you didn't agree with, let me know that too. And again, if there's something you want me to talk about, maybe listening to this stimulated something you wanted me to talk about in the future, please let me know. But your homework is to start thinking about those things that are going to resist or create the awareness, one of those things that can help you on your health and fitness journey. So, with that, remember, you are beautiful. Go out there, get control of your energy, get control of your health and fitness, feel that confidence, awaken that inner warrior. And guess what? Tomorrow, for those who are celebrating Christmas Eve, happy holidays. I'll be here tomorrow again for a short video. Hopefully it'll be much earlier, but who knows? It's been really crazy, but really enjoy doing this. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.